Previously, on keeping up with the Kenya Kwanza government.
We cannot continue delaying the process of the IEBC because we are denying a lot of Kenyans their constitutional right to have representation.
They have already wamefaulu to extend the election. Hiyo ni confidence number one. They wamefaulu.
Is there an invisible hand pulling strings behind the curtain, quietly conspiring to derail Kenya's March anticipated 2027 general elections?
So we are our own enemy sometimes. We are pushing this agenda too far.
You see, if you ask President Ruto's critics, the answer might be a dramatic yes. And now more than ever. At the latest blow, a judicial coverball hurled squarely at the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission's IEBC, right when it seemed things were finally moving forward. Barely had the ink dried on President Ruto's announcement of a new IEBC chairperson and commissioners when the High Court swooped in with conservatory orders halting their vetting. The legal freeze came after a mysterious pair, still unnamed to the public, filed a petition challenging the process. According to the court, no vetting will proceed until at least May 29th this year, giving plenty of time for political imaginations to run wild.
Lakini we are seeing people who are getting worried. They want to delay elections. They went to court when the first process started. Again, through proxy, the same fellows are going to court.
This latest hiccup is just another chapter in what has become a legal soap opera around the IEBC rebirth. The petitioners, allegedly from a civil society group, are waving the flag of constitutionalism, claiming some nominees were smuggled onto their shortlist unconstitutionally, while public participation was casually tossed aside, despite the NADCO report's stern emphasis on transparency.
Surely, you cannot have an IEBC of all tribes. You can only have an IEBC of the nation.
But here is the real question. Who are these shadowy figures who seem to pop up with petitions just as the IEBC train starts chugging along? Are they too strong for the government to control? Now, depending on who you ask, the blame lies squarely within the walls of State House. Government critics claim this is all part of a strategic slow dance orchestrated to keep the 2027 polls just out of reach. The theory, if the IEBC is stalled long enough, no credible elections can be held. And that would mean President Ruto will still stay in power comfortably as long as he wants.
They have already wamefaulu to extend the election. Hiyo ni confidence number one. They wamefaulu to extend the period of the election. We cannot be able, as things are now, if we don't have a commission by next month, then it means we will not have an election during the stipulated time. Sasa hiyo confidence wako nayo. Because hata si wao wataitisha, ni the body itself. Hata hapo anaweza kuweka Mkikuyu akuwe ndio chairman wa body, ndio aitishe postponement, asukume kidogo. Then you remember the reconstitution of the entire system, because when we have a new team, we are going to have new members of the constitution, the commission, all over, and then procurements, wale watafanya biodata, wale watalete masanduku, wale wataprint papers, wale watafanya kila kitu. You find that time will not be on the other side, and this thing cannot be done without a commission in place. That's number one. That's the confidence, because walitaka kuilete, they prepared us through Cherargei. When Cherargei went to the Senate kusema tukuwe na one-term president wa 7 years. Because they wanted, now because it is one term, wakibadilisha that this term will be scrapped. Ruto hatakuwa amehesabiwa kwa hii term. Sasa atahesabiwa for the next term that will be 7 years. 12 years bado zimeingia. So these guys are working for a 14-year term. But remember, kuna mambo ingine huko chini which is inatengenezeka. Kuna vitu mingi vinatengenezeka which will be a total mayhem as we go. as we move forward, because they are not ready to release this seat. They are not ready to relinquish. Not unless there is something like a coup, there is something like kuna vita fulani ama kuna kitu kitasababisha. Wanaomba sana hii kitu, the new corona ikuje. They are really praying for it to come. And then they would shut down Kenya.
State of emergency
and everything. Then they will come and say, because of what happened, we cannot be able to hold the election. Because for them is to make sure an election is not being held as stipulated.
Yet, irony isn't lost on anyone paying attention. The very government accused of stalling the process is now loudly lamenting the delays. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi himself has decried the slow grind of electoral reforms.
Yes, step by step. Lakini we are seeing people who are getting worried. They want to delay elections. They went to court when the first process started. They said they wanted conversation, a dialogue. Dialogue was held. The process has started again. Through proxy, the same fellows are going to court to delay. Surely, you cannot have an IEBC of all tribes. You can only have an IEBC of the nation. We are 42 communities. If we are all to pull in our individual corner, the Constitution does not allow for 42 or 43 commissioners. It has a limited number. So it is obvious you will never have every community in the same IEBC all at the same time. It will be against the law. So we want to tell the people that wacha kuogopa election by delaying IEBC. There are constituencies in this country that have been sitting without an MP for several months. That is disservice to those people because there is no IEBC. We cannot continue delaying the process of the IEBC because we are denying a lot of Kenyans their constitutional right to have representation. Tuache huu mchezo. IEBC undwe, IEBC ifanye kazi yake, Malava wapate by-election, wawe na MP wao, wale MCAs ambao hawako wapatikane katika taifa letu, senators wapatikane, tumalize hii maneno, we move forward. Who is managing the CDFs of those countries, those constituencies?
So, are we to believe the executive is sabotaging a process it is also complaining about? Well, that will be quite the political gymnastics routine. What's next for the IEBC? Now, as the clock ticks towards May 29th, the country is in a legal limbo. Now, two possibilities loom. The court could extend the conservatory orders, keeping the vetting in a deep freeze. Or it might decide that the petition lacks bite and allow the National Assembly to get back to business. So, is Kenya's electoral future under threat? Or is this just democracy having another one of its noisy family arguments? For now, all eyes remains on the courts, the corridors of power, and the increased restless Kenyans.